Once again, welcome students. Myself, Dr. Umesh, and with me, Miss Pooja is here. Now, today it is the class of B.Ed first year. It is Pedagogy of English. Yesterday, we discussed about what is language, what are the characteristics of language, what are the importance of language, and also we studied about linguistic principles. Today, we will discuss about method and approaches and methods of teaching of English. Because you know that pedagogy means it is the science of the teaching. So here we are discussing about science of teaching. That is, now today we are going to discuss about methodology. That is method. Okay, now what is method and what is approach? It's very necessary to know us that what is the difference between approach and method. It's very important. Unless and until we don't know what is approach and what is method, we will not be able to find out what are the approaches for the teaching of English and what are the methods for teaching of English. Then we go that approach and methods are two important concepts in performing any task. These two factors can actually decide the success of your task. Approach is the way you are going to approach the project. Method is the way in which you are going to complete the project. That means the way to reach to that project or that matter, that is called as approach. And how it is completed, it is the method. Then there is some differences between the approaches and methods. Okay, then there is some differences. If we talk about approach is the way in which you are going to approach a project or the task, where method is the way in which something is done. Something is done. Now I'm going to tell you the difference between the methods and approach. First, the definition. What is the difference between the approach and a method in their definitions? Then approach is the way in which something is approached, and method is?
Method is the way in which something is done.
Okay, that means first definition, in the definition we can say that approach is the way for reaching of that thing, while when something is done, that is the method by which. Second is the process versus direction. Process versus direction. Approach can refer to the direction or angle. Direction or angle, it gives approach. Whereas
method refers to a process.
Yes, it is the process. Next, theory and guideline. Approach can refer to the theoretical framework in general, whereas
method refers to step-by-step guidelines.
And after that, if you talk about sequence, then approach has to be decided before selecting the method.
Whereas method can be selected after deciding the approach.
Okay, then these are some of the differences between the approach and method. But for reaching any of the method, approach is must. Okay. Now, there are many of the methods for teaching of English. But in your syllabus, there are 3 or 4 methods. We will discuss them one by one. Those are as the first is the direct method of teaching of English. This is one of the most important method for teaching of English. Generally, we use bilingual method or the grammar and translation method. But direct method is not just like as the translation method or the bilingual method. In translation method, we translate English to another language, which is our native. Whereas in bilingual method, we use 2 languages. One is the English, another the mother tongue. It may be either Hindi, Tamil, any of it. Okay, but in direct method, no other language is used. No any other language is used. English is directly used for the teaching of English language or teaching of any subject. A teacher doesn't use the mother tongue in the class, nor are the student allowed to use it. Generally, in English medium schools where we talk about, you have to read in English, write in English, speak in English. This is the direct method, where any mother tongue or other language is avoided. And this is the direct method. And direct method is considered one of the best methods for teaching of English. Because in other language, other methods, like as the grammar and translation method, English is translated into mother tongue. In bilingual method, English, two languages are used simultaneously. When in other subject, we also use while teaching of the learning and teaching, while teaching of the childhood and growing up. Generally, what do we do? We read English and after that we translate it into Hindi. But in direct method, there is no use of other tongue or other language. It was established in Germany and in France and around 1900, and a contrast with the grammar translation method and other traditional approaches. In Germany, German language is spoken. In France, French language is spoken. Where in those countries, English was taught, the English was translated into either the German or the French. And after that, it was explained. But it was considered that by translating English language in other language, it's not either the easy nor difficult, but it gives emphasis to both the language, the mother tongue and English language. Therefore, the direct approach, that is the direct method of teaching of English was used. Now, the basic principles behind the direct methods are as one.
Direct relation between thought and words.
Yes, while we are thinking, we think in Hindi and after that we translate into English. But in direct method, either you are thinking or you are using the words, either writing, the speaking or listening, either speaking and writing or the reading, you have to use English words. Using this method, a learner thinks and speaks using the same medium, that is English language. Then it is the direct method. One is the first principle. Direct relation between thought and words. Second is
Oral or speaking practice.
generally it is very necessary. If you want to be fluent in English, it's very necessary that we have to do oral practice. Oral means we have to speak in English. Though it is right or the wrong, it doesn't matter. After some time, one becomes habitual of it. Therefore, it gives, direct method gives emphasis on oral practice for everyone, either in the classroom or outside of the classroom. The teacher as well as the students both speak in English. No other language is used. Third is the functional grammar. Third is this method doesn't put emphasis on theoretical grammar. The main stress is on the functional grammar. That means the grammar which functions directly. If you go that this is subject, this is predicate, after that noun comes and with verbs comes, and after that object comes, and where the determinants will be used. It doesn't matter. The functional grammar is used where in direct method. And fourth is
no use of mother tongue.
Yes, in direct method of the teaching of English, mother tongue is not used. Any of the mother tongue, either in India, Hindi is there, or the Tamil is there, or Punjabi is there, whatever the mother tongue. But in direct method, no mother tongue is used. Only English is used in teaching of English language. Then fifth is the
limited vocabulary.
This method advocates the use of the limited vocabulary, daily use words. If we say that we have a treasure of words or the vocabs, it's not necessary. Generally, whatever we do throughout the day, the words which we use, we have to keep in our mind and we have to use them. And the last is the
sentence as a unit of speech.
Yes, we know that. While we are speaking, we make sentences. Then the sentence is the unit of any of the speech. And this is emphasis on speaking the complete sentence. not incomplete sentence, complete sentence. Then these are the 6 basic principles of direct method of teaching of English. These are as
direct relation between thought and words. Second, oral or speaking practice. Third, functional grammar. Fourth, no use of mother tongue. Fifth, limited vocabulary. Sixth, sentence as unit of speech.
now we go. These are the basic principles. Now we go for the characteristics. What are the characteristics of the direct method? Either directly you can write down from the principles also, but some of the characteristics we have to keep in mind. The first is
Classroom instruction is conducted in the target language. Second, grammar is taught inductively. Third, correct pronunciation and grammar is emphasized. Fourth, both speaking and listening comprehension is taught. Fifth, only everyday vocabulary and sentences is taught.
then these are the 4 or the 5 or the 6 characteristics you have to keep in mind for using the direct method of teaching. Now, what are the advantages of the teaching by the direct method? The advantages are many, so many. As the unit of speech is direct method is sentence, students learn to speak complete sentence without any hesitation. So they get confidence with command over good English. If you go and see the public schools, whatever the child do, the children speak English. Like as if they want to go out, may I go up, man? Keep your book yourself. Have you your pen, please? Please sit down. You can come. You can do your work. In this way, the teacher as well as the students, they use the complete sentence. And after some time, the student become habitual and they get confidence. And second one is,
as there is direct relation between thought and expression, it helps the learners in having good fluency. Using direct method, a teacher helps students having good command over English.
Generally what happens in the translator method or bilingual method, the person thinks in native language and after that translate into English. But in direct method, there is no any relation of the thinking with native language and English language. The thought process, that is also English, and the speech process, that is also in English. Next is,
grammar is taught inductively.
Earlier we have read that characteristics inductively. There are the 2 methods, one is the deductive, another the inductive. Then here, inductive grammar is used, that is deductive. After that, in teaching vocabulary, such as words, idioms, this method is good. You know idioms, like as 2 and 2 make 4. This is an idiom. Okay? A cipher among blind. This is idiom. हिंदी में जिसे हम मुहावरा या लोकोक्ति कहते हैं, idioms and phrases जिसे कहते हैं. Like as in this way, in teaching vocabulary such as words, idioms, this method is good. And after that, in this method, the teacher proceeds from particular to general and from concrete to abstract. From the particular to general and concrete to abstract. Next one is,
instructions are given in the target language.
okay. Next is,
it makes the teaching English easier and more pleasant. A teacher uses various images, pictures to illustrate his or her point.
Yes, for the illustration of some of the points, the teacher use the images and pictures, like as showing as the pictures, whatever the teacher do. For example, I am showing you a mobile. Okay, then what I will do, I will say that, what is this? This is mobile. Okay, and after that, this is the cover of mobile. This is the back side of mobile. That means we are using the complete sentence by showing the image or the object, and one by one we will describe it in only one language, that is English. ऐसे नहीं कि यह कमरे का सामने वाला भाग है जिसमें स्क्रीन दिखाई देता है. No, no other language. Only one language is used while teaching in direct method. Okay, and therefore the focus is given on the oral practice. Okay, not written, oral practice. Therefore, the pronunciation improves. generally the people who are living in India in the northern area, they have very poor pronunciation. Why? This is only due to that they use mother tongue. Either it may be the Punjabi, Hindi, Himachali, or whatever. Therefore, it becomes very difficult to make the good pronunciation of English. But where the direct method is, the pronunciation is very good. Just if you get the time to listen how the words are pronounced, then listen to Barack Obama. A speech of Barack Obama. Good pronunciation. And after that, next one is
The focus is on oral practice, therefore the pronunciation improves. Next, the most important aspect is spoken language, so that pronunciation and grammar are taken into account. Next, this method creates a suitable environment for learning English language. The last one, this method is focused on question answer practice.
yes, the pattern is question answer. Like as I say, once again, I'm saying, what is this, Pooja ma'am? Then what will be the reply of Pooja ma'am?
This is a mobile.
This is mobile. Okay. For what is the use of this mobile? It is used for communication. What type of teaching aid this is? This is audio visual aids. That means question answer method. Okay. That means directly the pattern is question answer in the direct method. Now disadvantage of direct method. If there are so many advantages, but some of the disadvantages also there. Those are as
Average and below average students, especially from rural background, find difficulty to grasp the things taught via this method.
okay. The people who are the students who are living in the rural area, if they have not command over the English, not command over English, they will unable to understand what the teacher is going to tell. Second one is for people that are accustomed to teach or to be taught with the grammar translation method, direct method may not hold well. Generally, what happens? Generally, we read in English and after that we translate it into Hindi. And in this way, we become habitual for the grammar and translation method. While we are using only English language, that is the direct method, some of the students who have become habitual of listening to both the language, they are unable to understand what the teacher is going to teach. And next one is for this method, competent teachers must be there. But there is the dearth of the good English teacher in the country. Incompetent teacher can't use this method successfully. And after that, next one is
In the early stage of learning, this method is completely unsuccessful.
in the early stage of the method. If a person doesn't have any knowledge of English, then if a student is, if a student does not know a large about English language, it will become very difficult for him or her to understand what the teacher is going to teach. Next is that it is not convenient for the large classes. And next one is owing to overemphasis or oral practice, the other skills, namely reading and writing, are ignored for great extent. And next one is
The background at home must also be foreign language friendly for this method. The student whose parents can speak English will get more benefit from this method.
there is no attention to some areas like the reading and writing.
This is an expensive method as teacher is use some aids for teaching.
Okay, then in this way, if there are some of the advantage, some of the disadvantage of this one, but still, despite its shortcomings or the disadvantage, this method is best method for teaching of English. But the teacher must be able to be modify it for the benefit of the whole class. Okay. Now, like as in countries where their mother tongue is English, they use this is as the direct method. In this way, this is about the direct method. Another method we are going to tell you about. This is